The Mi'kmaq creation story tells how the first Mi'kmaq people was created and why the numbers 7 and 4 are important to us. The Mi'kmaq people cannot tell you how the Creator came to be, but we know it was the Creator who created everything, and it's neither he or she, and we often refer to the Creator as the Great Spirit. After everything was created, Grandfather Sun, Grandmother Moon, and Mother Earth, the Creator created 3 bolts of lightning. The first bolt hit the sands of Mother Earth and created a shape of a human. And that was Kluskap, the first Mi'kmaq person. His head was pointing towards the east, where the rising sun is, and his feet in the west, in the setting sun. His right hand to the north of the cold, and his left hand to the south, where it's warm. And that is the 4 directions. The second bolt of lightning gave Kluskap his 7 sacred holes of his head, 2 eyes so he could see his world, 2 ears so he can listen and learn, 2 holes of his nose so that he can sense his place, and a hole for his mouth so that he could speak and take in nourishment. He laid there and the seasons went by, and he asked the Creator for the ability to move. So the Creator sent the 3rd bolt of lightning, and Kluskap could stand. He gave then thanks in the 7 directions, the east, west, north, south, to the Great Spirit, to Mother Earth, and within himself. Then he walked as far as west as he could, and then turned north and walked as far as he could. Then he turned south and walked as far south as he could, for then turning back to where he was created, where the bolt of lightning was still crackling. And on his journey, he learned the balance between nature and the animals. One day, Kluskap was visited by an eagle. The eagle landed and sat in front of him and said, "I'm a messenger from the Creator. I come with a message saying that you are to soon be joined by your family." And when the eagle took off, 1 single feather landed. Kluskap took up the feather and gave thanks to the eagle. Time went by, and one day Kluskap saw an old woman sitting on a rock. He went over to her and said, "Who are you?" "I'm your grandmother. I was created this morning when the dew formed over the rock. When Grandfather Sun was at his highest and heated up the rock, I was created. I'm already wise and knowledgeable, and I'm here to teach you." Kluskap was so happy for her arrival, he asked his brother, the marten, if he could give up his life so that they can have nourishment, and he promised to use everything. Grandmother then instructed Kluskap to gather the sparks from the bolt of lightning and create a fire. The marten had agreed, so Kluskap gave the marten to grandmother and she prepared him, and they had a celebration in her arrival. And time went by and he learned all he could from her. He went for a walk on the beach. And in the tall, sweet-smelling grass, he saw this strong young man with eyes of steel. They were gray. And he asked this young man, "Who are you?" "I am your nephew. I was created this morning when the winds blew across the ocean and created foam. The foam was then carried across the beach and took sand with it and landed on the sweet-smelling grass. Grandfather Sun stood at his highest and heated up the foam, and I was created. I am strong and I'm fast and I'm a good hunter. I'm here to help you." Kluskap was so happy for his nephew's arrival, but he didn't want to take any more of his 4-legged brothers and sisters, so he asked the fish of the oceans and the salmon of the rivers if they could sacrifice their lives. They agreed and they rolled ashore, and him and his nephew gathered the fish and brought it back to grandmother. She prepared it and they had a feast in honor of Kluskap's nephew. Time went by and he learned everything he could from his nephew. And he sat down beside the sacred fire one evening, and this young woman came over and sat beside him. She put her arm around him, and he just looked at her and he said, "Who are you?" "I'm your mother. I come here with strength and understanding for the world." And I was created this morning when a leaf fell from the tree and hit the sands of the ground, and the dew formed over it. And when Grandfather Sun was at his highest and heated up this leaf, I was created. Kluskap was so happy for his mother's arrival, but he didn't want to take any more fish from the ocean and the rivers. So they gathered berries and nuts and roots in honor of Mother's arrival. Time went by and he learned what he could, and they were all sitting around the fire when the eagle came back, and he said, Kluskap, you and your mother will have to leave the Mi'kmaq world. Grandmother and nephew are going to stay and help the new Mi'kmaq people that are coming. And then 7 sparks flew out of the fire and created 7 men. 7 more sparks flew out of the fire and created 7 women. And they all took a little spark from the sacred fire and they went off in the 7 directions and created the 7 families. And after 7 winters, they would all gather together and have a Mawiomi, where would they dance, sing, and drum in celebration of their continued existence in the Mi'kmaq world.